I think I needed to.
Oh yeah, it should
press
be.
some.
It should be streaming live on Facebook now. Let me have a look again to see if it's working.
I'm really sorry about this, but I will, as soon as we get this sorted,
Yeah.
I think it works now.
It works now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
So welcome to our visitors at our website on Facebook. We had some technical problems in the beginning here, but you're right now watching our very first SULFinar for PhD candidates. And today we're going to talk about what happens if I get unemployed. And my colleague will be the speaker today, Caroline Hövik. So I just leave the floor to you, and I will check the chat room for questions, and I will give them to Caroline as we go.
Okay, can you hear me? I take that as a yes. Thank you, Karin. My name is Caroline, and I work as an ombudsman here at SULF. I hope you're all doing well out there. Today, I will take you through 4 steps that you should know if you become unemployed. And in the end, I will do a short repetition of the steps. And as Karin said, I will try to answer any of your questions. All right, the first step is to register at a job center. And you do this the very first day of your unemployment during a working day. You can register online if you have an EID, so you don't have to go to one of their offices in person. The second step, you apply for unemployment benefits at Akademikernas a-kassa, or the a-kassa that you're a member in, because there are many a-kassor in Sweden. To apply for benefits, you need to send them certificates regarding your work and or the activities that you've had during the past 12 months. Ask your employer or your HR or salary department for these certificates, and they usually know what to give you. Your a-kassa caseworker will then calculate the average salary that you've had for the last year, and you can get 80% of that in benefits. But there is a ceiling, and that's where an income insurance comes in to fill up that gap so that you get the 80% of your previous income. But I will talk about the income insurance later. There are 2 requirements for income-related benefits, and you should be aware of these. I will talk about them briefly, but if you have any more questions, you can always contact our membership service if you're a member in SULF, or preferably, in this case, your a-kassa. Right now, due to the pandemic, there are temporary changes in the Swedish unemployment benefit system. For example, the membership requirement has been lowered, so you only need to be a member for 3 months and not the usual 12 to fulfill the membership requirements and then be eligible for income-related benefits. So it's 3 months, not the usual 12 right now. The work requirement has also been lowered, but so if you've been working less than full-time, you should contact your a-kassa to get the updated numbers. Another change is that the highest benefit levels in kronor has been changed, like the ceiling is now higher. But as I said, these are temporary changes and we don't know for how long they will be in place. The last change was only the last week. So please go to your a-kassa's website to get the full update and updated information. Because let's say if you're in the situation now, or in a month's time, or in 6 months, the rules can change and probably will have changed. All right, but then when you applied for a-kassa and you've been granted a-kassa, you need to, for the benefits to then be paid out, you need to fill out something called kassakort, time reports, I would translate that to. And you can usually do that online, definitely at Akademikernas a-kassa. if you have an EID, you can log on to their website and fill out these a-kassa or time reports online. A question that we often get, and that is relevant for you as a PhD candidate, is whether or not you can get a-kassa if your employment ends, but you're still writing on your thesis. Because unfortunately, sometimes PhD candidates find themselves in this situation. And if you do, contact your union, first of all. But if this happens, you're normally not entitled to benefits from your a-kassa. Your studies have to be completed or permanently interrupted for you to be eligible for a-kassa. I know there are cases where a-kassa has been granted, though your thesis has not been sent to the printers. And that would be if all your courses are completed and the only thing left, say, is editorial work. But I'm really in deep water here because this is a decision that your a-kassa has to make. So if you're in this situation, tell them about it. Another situation that I thought about and that I guess is relevant in these days is that if you find yourself in a situation where your employment ends and you finished your thesis, all your courses are done, it's sent to the printers, but the only thing remaining is your dissertation. In this case, you can be eligible for a-kassa, but on the day that you're defending your thesis, you need to report that on your kassakort and then report it to your a-kassa, because on that day you can't get a-kassa. But as I said, I'm repeating myself, but I really, it's very important that if you have questions regarding your a-kassa, contact them. They are the expert at a-kassa rules. And Akademikernas a-kassa has gathered information for you as a PhD candidate on their website that is very informative. So please visit their website.
Caroline, can we take some questions? We have a question about part-time unemployment. Is it possible to get part-time a-kassa?
Yes, it is. But there are also specific rules regarding this, and you can only get that for a limited amount of days. So you need to, once again, contact your a-kassa. Mm-hmm. And I think you need to fill out that also on your time reports if you're working part-time.
Right. Can you also explain this kassakort? What is that?
Kassakort, well, it's basically a time report, and you fill out what you've been, if you've been applying for jobs, or if you've been, as I said, working or defending your thesis one day, or let's say if you go on vacation, I think you need to fill out that also on your kassakort. It's basically a way to report to your a-kassa that you're applying for a job and that you're eligible for unemployment benefits that day. Mm-hmm.
We're also getting a few questions about that is related to if you have a permanent residence or not in Sweden. I think that is something that you can ask us. If you already are a member of SULF, you can ask us at our membership guiding. But if you're not a member, you can become a member and then you can ask. Hmm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Then I'll go ahead to the third step, and that is to contact the Job Security Foundation, Trygghetsstiftelsen in Swedish, to see if you're entitled to topping up your a-kassa or your unemployment benefits. Your employer should have reported your name to the Job Security Foundation at this point. If not, contact them, ask them to do so, or ask why they haven't done that. The Job Security Foundation offers a few different kinds of support. Amongst them is financial support. But I will also like to mention that they offer seminars, job coaching, and start your own business coaching. But the financial support, you can get that for 44 days, and it's up to 80% of your previous income. if you're entitled to compensation from the foundation, you apply to them. And after that comes step 4, which is applying for compensation from the SULF income insurance for a further 150 days. So you apply for compensation from the SULF income insurance if you're entitled to income-related unemployment benefits from your a-kassa. And you also have to have been a SULF member for 12 months. So first you apply to the Job Security Foundation and their financial support, and then the SULF income insurance.
Okay, so sorry, can I interrupt you a bit? A few people has asked us about the recording of this webinar, and if we're going to publish that. We do. This is the first time we do this. We're recording it to see that if we can make it possible to look at in afterwards. I think we will do that for about a week. But as I can see now, we have some technical problems with the picture. So I think we will evaluate if we do that. But yes, we're planning to make it possible to look at this afterwards, right? Mm?
Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was about to say that our income insurance is one of the best ones on the market. And it will give you 80% of your actual salary up to 150 days. And I say actual salary because, as I said before, your income-related a-kassa has a ceiling. So join SULF today if you're not already a member, because the difference between having a-kassa and having a-kassa and an income insurance can be quite big. To apply for the income insurance, you notify Folksam. They are the ones that administrate our insurance. You notify them through a special form that you find on our website. And on this form, you need to fill out if you're entitled to another insurance, another income insurance. And that would, for example, be the one from the Job Security Foundation. So at this point, you need to know if you are entitled to that. I would also like to mention that through our income insurance, you can also get help from a job coach if you're interested in that. Okay.
We have some questions about the Job Security Foundation.
Okay.
One is, who is eligible to be registered in the Job Security Foundation?
Well, that's your employer will register you there. And it depends on for how long you've been working. And I don't have those numbers in my head. But if you've been having a fixed term contract for, I think it's 2 or 3 years, and you end your contract, they should report you because then you are eligible for a few different kind of supports from them. And there is a limit if you've been working, for how long you've been working, if you can get the financial support or not.
Right, and we also have someone who knows that you may get 44 days on top up from the Job Security Foundation. And could you once again explain the top up in the Job Security Foundation and then the income insurance from SULF? How does it work together?
Okay, well, because first, as I said, first you apply for the Job Security Foundation for 44 days. And then you get 80% of the salary that your a-kassa has calculated. And then after that, you apply for the SULF income insurance. So together, I can't do the math in my head, but you get 44 days plus 150 days. Mm-hmm. And from the SULF income insurance, you get 80% of your actual salary. So they will look at the salary you had the last month, I guess, in your employment.
Right. And we also have a question about if it's mandatory for employers to register people at the Job Security Foundation. And it is. But we also have questions about if you're on scholarships. If it's possible to get a-kassa if you are on a scholarship, is it possible to get the SULF unemployment insurance? So maybe you can say something about that.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, scholarship, your a-kassa, if you don't have an unemployment and but you're working on a scholarship, you are not considered that, like, that's not considered work at your a-kassa. It's considered to be studies. So you need to check that with your a-kassa, because usually it's not, you're not eligible for a-kassa if you're on a scholarship and you don't have an employment. So that's a very good question, because that's very good to know.
It also depends whether you had an employment before you got the scholarship, because then you can perhaps get it and perhaps also get the SULF income insurance. We have some questions regarding if I've been on parental leave or sick leave during these the last 12 months during my employment.
Yeah, well, if you're on parental leave or on sick leave, that's counted from your a-kassa as it's called dismissible time. So when they look for the work requirement that I was talking about before, they can dismiss the time that you've been sick or you've been on parental leave, and sort of make the they can look further back than 12 months. I don't know if that makes sense, but it doesn't have to affect your a-kassa. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to finish this in like 10 minutes. But I'll try to put forward some of your questions. There's a lot of stakeholders here, we know, and that's why we wanted to have this webinar. And somebody wants you to explain again what is the role of Folksam in this?
Sorry, that Folksam, they're the one who administrate our income insurance. So basically, they're the ones that you send the form. Like there's a form on our website. You fill that in and you send it to them. It's just a formal
Okay, so we have a question about is there any documentation of these? Would it possible? Can we read more about this somewhere?
Yes. Is it? I thought I was going to share my screen for you. Let me see if you can see this. Can you see this, Karin? You can.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Yeah. Then I guess everyone else can. This is actually from our website, sulf.se. Then this is where you can find this 4-step guide. You go to sulf.se and then work salary and benefits, and you find this 4-step guide. And you should check out our website, because we have gathered a lot of good information for you as a PhD candidate, not only when it comes to this, but in a lot of other areas too. So this is the steps. First, you register at a job center, and then step number 2, you apply for income related, or you apply for a-kassa at your a-kassa. And step number 3 is to contact the Job Security Foundation. And step number 4 is to apply for the SULF income insurance. And you can read more about it. This here is the guide, and you can read more about it. And you have all the website that you could click on, and also the form that you need to fill out to apply for our income insurance. Yeah, and I also oh, sorry, I'll stop sharing. Okay.
Okay.
And is there any more questions?
There's a lot of questions. Yeah. For how long can you get a-kassa? That's a very
good good. Oh, you have to help me, Karin. How many days is it? 180? 300 days. Okay, good. It was
Yeah.
one of our.
Yeah,
thank
we
you.
actually get a lot of
Thank
help
you,
here in the chat room with links and information. Okay, so we have a few questions. What is our advice if you're not finished with your thesis when your employment actually is ending and you're not finished? That is somewhat a separate question from the rules of a-kassa, but I think it's quite a common question that we get.
Yeah. Well, I say first of all, contact your local union and try and get help from them to see if you can get a prolongation on your employment, so that you have an income during the time that you're writing on your thesis.
Exactly. Because there's no law that says that you will get prolongation, but often we can help you. Our local representatives can often help you. We also have a question: for how many months does the SULF salary, the income insurance cover?
Well, it's 150 days. How many months is that? 4 months.
Okay. Right. I think
10 months. Thank you, Faisal. Wow, you should.
Thank you. I think we should finish this. I hope that I've seen most of the questions. I haven't seen all of them. I'm a bit overwhelmed by the number of people who wanted to join us and ask questions. As I said, we got some questions about what happens if you're not a permanent resident, if you want to move abroad and so on. And I think that we welcome you to our membership service. If you are a member already, you can email today. If you're not, you can become a member. Then you can ask us. So this was the first SULFinar, and we are planning to do this again. And we're going to do that in a week from now, on the May 19th. And then we're going to talk about the topic of prolongation due to the coronavirus. I think that is something that a lot of you are affected by, and we will talk about that, and another colleague will join us. So I hope that you have got some clue of what happens if you become unemployed, and we really like to stress that it's very, very important to become a member of SULF, of course, but also to become a member of the a-kassa, because that is the basis of your income insurance. Of course, we have a lot of information on our website. Caroline showed us some of it, and there's a lot more that can help you in your daily life as a PhD candidate. Well, I would very much like to thank you all for joining us. It's very nice to see you this morning, and hopefully we'll meet again in 1 week. Okay, bye.